Let me see what's going on here. Let me share it. Let me share it. Turn this volume down. I'm sharing a little bit. Hello, hello, hello. Share it. Hello, 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 hello. Comments. Hey, Sister Dawn, what's happening? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. This is just a little conversation we're going to have because I think that we have to continue to address issues in our community, especially when it affects our children. So I decided to come on live because I just needed to have this conversation because it's affecting someone in my family, but I do believe it has probably affected other families throughout this county and the state when we are talking about criminal justice reform. And you know, in my 32 years in law enforcement, as a law enforcement activist, not anti-law enforcement, but pro-law enforcement, we've always discussed that it's not even about having people of color. It's about having people of conscience in positions in law enforcement that sees justice, you know, in a way that it is not abusive. So, in saying that, I wanted to break down why I'm having felt like we need to have this discussion. So, young man, like many young men, um, sometimes they might get into trouble being young. We all know I've been there, but brother AJ's been there, and other people have been there where we make bad decisions or we get into certain situations, um, certain situations. So, young man gets into a car accident in 2019, and the Yonkers cop says that he smells weed. Now he never saw the young man smell weed. He never um, didn't even see any weed. Didn't even see any smoke, but he smelled weed. You know, and we know you could be in a car. Somebody smells weed. The person gets out the car. Everybody smells like weed. So the young man said he wasn't smoking weed. So he gets a ticket, which is probably just a misdemeanor, driving while impaired. But they never saw him smoke weed. They just smelled weed. So that's 2019. Pandemic comes. We know what happens in 2020. Everything gets stripped down. So he gets in another situation in White Plains this year. Oh, let me back up. His lawyer, Larry Sykes, says that they're going to take the case to trial, rightfully so. And in the process of them setting the court date, and this is the information I got from his mother, he gets into a certain situation in White Plains. Okay, it's a little domestic incident, nothing really criminal, like he's a stone cold criminal. So he has to go up to Valhalla for a couple of days, from September to October. And the time that he's there, he, young man, has to go to court in Yonkers for driving while impaired case from 2019. That no cops saw him smoking weed. Nobody saw him smoking weed. They just smelt weed. Oh, and I'd like to add, when they searched the car, they found an old little piece of roach or something in the car, all stomped up and old. Anyway, so, but still, they never witnessed guys smoking weed. They never did any type of sobriety test on him to see if he was actually impaired. So now we're going to court with that. But he's locked up. He has to go to court. So how's he going to get to court if he's locked up? Anybody that's watching, explain to me how the young man is going to get to court when he's in jail. And if nobody takes him from the county jail, how is he going to get to court? So now he gets out of jail from case in White Plains, and he's back to his regular life. Then he finds out that he has a warrant. He finds out from his lawyer. He finds out he has a warrant from the case in Yonkers because he missed the court case when he was locked up from September 21 to October 14.
So let me just stop you real quick. So he's in Valhalla. He has a court date in Yonkers. They supposed to transfer, if he got a court date, he's supposed to go on some kind of calendar or something, and they're supposed to bring him over to the court or something like that. Mm-hmm. They don't bring him, and Yonkers court put a bench warrant out of him for missing the date, not knowing that he's in Valhalla.
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm with you so far. Okay.
All right. So he, according to his mother, I'm giving you this according to his mother. Find out that when he finds out he has a warrant, contacts his lawyer. Says, "Yo, man, how do I have a warrant for missing it when I was locked up?" According to his mother, lawyer tells him, "Just go on down there, you'll be all right."
Okay.
He's locked up. You'll be all right. You'll be okay, man. It wasn't your fault that you missed it because you was in jail. Go on down there. So he takes his little ass down there
and they lock him up.
So wait a minute. So when he's there and he explains it, now they have to give another ADA because I don't know why. I mean, not an ADA, scratch that. They have to get another legal aid. We don't know why Larry Sykes didn't go down there with him.
With him, or just go down there, period.
Right. You should have never told him to go down there with him. I'm gonna listen. I don't care. I'm fucking this whole case up. He shouldn't have told him to go down there without legal representation. And since he was handling the case, he should have took his happy ass down there too. So I don't understand why you send this young man down there and you wasn't there to represent him initially. So there was another, they assigned another legal aid person to the case. And we know how legal aid worked. She had no clue what was going on. So how could she properly represent this young man if she really didn't have any clue what was going on? So Judge Bess, Karen Bess,
Yonkers
gives this young man, because he missed his court date while he was in Valhalla, $100,000 bail.
Sick.
$100,000 bail. You can't even get $100,000 bails on these little punk ass people running around here shooting each other in Yonkers and Mount Vernon. I didn't even know $100,000 bills exist anymore. So you could tell me, you're gonna explain this to me, that you gave a young man $100,000 bail because he missed a court case where he was already in jail. And nobody thought to check the county jail to see if he was telling the truth? Not one person.
So he's still in the county jail right now?
Yes, and I'm getting ready to get to that. But that's what I'm saying. Isn't $100,000 excessive for a misdemeanor?
Yeah, I'm not sure that was. I have a lot of questions. I'm gonna let you go, but I have a lot of questions.
In a case that you're gonna lose anyway because nobody ever saw him smoke weed. Not one cop, Mr. ADA or Judge Bess. Okay. So now he's locked up in jail. Goes to court today. Now there's a whole mix-up because he also has case as a court date in White Plains. So they take him to White Plains. You can't send him to White Plains because he's still quarantined. He hasn't went through the quarantine time in jail. When you first get locked up, which is good, you go in quarantine, make sure you ain't got the virus, right? We got the big Omicron, whatever they call that virus. You got to make sure nobody got the virus.
Wait, so he was out, he just went back to jail?
He went back to jail when they said that he missed the case. They sent him back to jail.
That was like 15 days ago. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Come back to court today. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes back, he goes to White Plains. They don't let him upstairs because he's not cleared from quarantine. And he's not in White Plains on any type of bail issue. He's in White Plains on a probation issue, according to probation officer Melendez. It's not a bail issue. It's a probation issue. But he's now, but in Yonkers, Mother is sitting there, and Larry Sykes, rightfully so, asked him to be ROR. Because now, if they let him go, he's in jail because of Yonkers, not because of White Plains. Make that clear. The ADA, I'm not sure of his name, so I'm not going to mispronounce his name, but the ADA on the case, if I find out your name, I will say it. The ADA on the case lies to the judge and says that he was just in White Plains court for bail jumping. Why did you lie, Mr. Yonkers, ADA, Michael something? Why did you lie? You shouldn't have lied. You had no proof that he was in White Plains for bail jumping. We spoke to the P.O. Melendez. He wasn't there for bail jumping. You lied to the judge. You're a lying ADA.
Question.
And your integrity is now in question.
Question, and this is from a layman's perspective. When you go before a judge, doesn't the judge get handed, like when your case, they call your case, the whoever hands the judge some papers and they got everything about your case on it, wouldn't the judge already have known? Wouldn't she be able to have that in front of her that he's not there for bail jumping? Isn't that available?
Well, I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know how that works. You have to ask somebody that does that. I don't know. All I know is that the ADA in this case, according to the mother, lied to the judge and said this young man was in White Plains court for the same thing, bail jumping, which is a lie. And he needs to be reprimanded for lying. See, the difference is, and we got a question, how many young black boys do they do this to that don't have an uncle that's the publisher of Black Westchester magazine? That's the big question. That's the big question. How many young black boys has this happened to that this DA is lying about for a misdemeanor? See, we have when we're talking criminal justice reform, we're just not talking laws. We're talking people with the conscious mindset of justice. And if we're not going to have those people in place, from police officers to ADAs to judges to lawyers, then it's just symbolism without substance. It's a waste of goddamn time. Because the only thing you're doing is pulling my leg. I wanted to say something else.
Peeing on me, telling me it's raining.
Come on.
So I have questions. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm listening to you, and beyond everything that you're saying, so this was for something that he was in jail for that he hadn't go to court for from 2019. So this is a pending case.
2019.
Okay, so I've personally interviewed Westchester County District Attorney Mimi Roca, and I was able to pull up real quick. We won't even talk about Black Westchester. News 12. Westchester DA dismisses all marijuana possession cases in the county July 27, 2021. Westchester County District Attorney Mimi Roca announced that all marijuana cases involving felony or misdemeanor charges of possession or sale, and the county will be dismissed. A total of 184 cases have been dismissed by the DA's office. She's quoted saying the decriminalization of low-level marijuana-related offenses will prevent people from getting unnecessary jobs, blah, 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 blah. After that, it said the DA said it will go forward and it will not go forward in prosecuting future violations or misdemeanors. So just by this, now she's told me, I have an interview where she's told me the same thing, but I'm pulling up News 12. Just by this, while he was sitting in jail, before this date first happened, before he was in White Plains and got a bench warrant for not making it to Yonkers because he was in Valhalla, his case should have been dismissed with the rest of these cases. First off, he shouldn't have been in jail. I'm just going first. He should not have been in jail because the district attorney said she was dismissing all low-level marijuana cases. He's supposedly smoked some marijuana. That's a low-level marijuana case.
Allegedly.
Because nobody saw him. Nobody saw him. But it's a low-level marijuana case.
But
you said something about finding a roach or something. That would be under a low-level marijuana possession case. I'm reading the exact words from the DA.
But here's the kicker, and I'm just playing devil advocate for the argument, because they didn't charge him with marijuana, they charged him with driving impaired. But the whole thing is the driving impaired charge was based on the cops assuming he was smoking marijuana. And yes, it should have been thrown out.
So that's still a low-level marijuana charge because
it's still a misdemeanor, even though
Yeah. I mean, driving impaired, if it's alcohol, it's driving impaired under the influence of alcohol. If it's driving impaired under the influence of marijuana, it's a low-level marijuana offense, and he should not have been. His case should have been released, should have been dismissed. He shouldn't have had to ever go to court. That's one. Two, in our interview, moving forward to the $100,000 bail, in our interview, Mimi Roker came on People Before Politics and said she's asking, I think she was asking for there to be no further charges or calls for bails for anything that comes. She's not prosecuting. She's moving forward. She's not prosecuting future violations. So I'm confused why he was even in jail. Period.
No, we are.
That's the first thing. And once the DA, the office supposed to have dismissed this case, why her ADA is not aware of this and went through all of this? I'm confused. I'm very confused.
I don't know either. And
I'm very confused, and I want to say I don't know all the facts. That's why I'm asking a lot of questions right now.
No. Those are the questions. Those are the questions we had. Those are and the other question is, even knowing that it is excessive, right? You as the ADA want to upheld the $100,000. Well, you know what? I want to know from that ADA and the Yonkers office, how many $100,000 cash bails do they give for these young kids that be shooting each other? I mean, this is a misdemeanor. The gangbangers, do you get $100,000 bail for these gangbangers? $100,000 bail is almost a mystery bunny running around here in the justice system in New York State. How the hell do you give $100,000 bail for just allegedly smoking weed? Because that's all it is. That's all it is. You're going to waste the taxpayers' money of keeping a young man up there and giving him $100,000 excessive bail. Yes, it is. It's excessive. for some weed? Because that's what it basically is. Oh, wait a minute. He missed court date. Well, he was in Valhalla.
I have another thing that came up. So since this is 2019 and Mimi Roca stepped in, January 2021? This I know it's been a long year. She just stepped in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So January, let's go back. January 10th, 2020, Scarpino won't prosecute low-level pot arrests. This is from Scarpino. Effective immediately, Westchester District Attorney Anthony Scarpino's office is implementing changes in the handling of low-level marijuana offenses in Westchester. Under the new policy, possession amounts 2 ounces or less of marijuana will no longer result in a criminal conviction, negating the collateral damage of such convictions might impose. This sounds like the collateral damage that such a conviction might impose.
But we also still dealing with semantics. Oh no. Well, it because it was a movie. It was a driving while impaired. Yeah, but he was driving while impaired because they alleged. See, because they was alleged he was smoking weed. So at the end of the day, right, it's still based on weed. And if everybody's saying that they're throwing out cases, the question is, why is this case still around?
I have another question. So from a legal, and again, I'm asking from a layman's perspective. If you get pulled over for driving while impaired and it's alcohol, they give you a breathalyzer or something, and you blow, and they tell you what you blew and if you were over the level of alcohol. If you're supposedly impaired under the influence of marijuana, do you get piss tests? Do they give you some kind of test or something? I mean, like with alcohol, they make you blow breathalyzer and they tell you, I know every story I do, they were 0 point whatever over the limit, the legal limit of alcohol when they were driving. That's driving while under the impaired of alcohol. Is there such a thing for marijuana?
I don't know.
A cop can just say, Damon Jones, I smell marijuana in your car. I'm locking you up for driving under the impaired. Is that the law? Like, I want someone who knows, please contact me and explain this to me, because I don't know, and none of this makes sense to me.
Right? No, and what I do know is that if you didn't see me do it, how are you going to say I did it? And if there is no test, right? If there's no sobriety test or any type of way that they did, and according to his mother and him, they did nothing, right? So they just they did nothing. So now we're dealing with an issue is, right, you have nothing. You have nothing, because I would like to see these cops get on the stand, because they did ask to go to trial. And maybe this is just a continue of just delaying because they have nothing. So you keep doing this. You keep doing this, abusing excessive bail to make him want to say, you know what, I'm just going to cop out. I'm just going to cop out. No mas. I had enough. I've been in jail long enough. I want to get out. That's the old trick. We supposed to be beyond this, right?
That was the need for bail reform, which does need to be reformed. But that was the need for the bail reform in the first place.
Exactly.
Situations like this don't happen.
Exactly. So now he wants to cop out. And Judge Best, who gives $100,000 bail for missing a court date that they were in jail?
Which is verifiable.
You could
that's an ironclad alibi right there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like I don't like this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. The man was locked up. So how was he missing? How did he get $100,000 bail? He was locked up on another case. And then the ADA is gonna lie and say he jumped bail on that case, which he never did. The mother has a statement from P.O. Melendez, his probation officer. He wasn't there for bail jumping. See, but I gotta go back to the ADA. You lied to the judge. on something you had no reason to lie about.
So is that against, that should be against the law, right? That should be.
He should be reprimanded for that.
They're not legally allowed to do that. I mean, I know
No.
Okay.
Whatever's supposed to happen, they're supposed to tell the truth. See, but this is the problem with the justice system, because from the police officers, and I gotta call it for what it is. From police officers, they lie to get confessions. Not all of them, but there's some that do.
But
right?
they're allowed to lie to you when they're interrogating you to get a confession. That they're allowed to do. But you're not allowed to lie in court, though.
Which is crazy.
Right?
Which is crazy. Well, how are you gonna lie to me to get a confession?
Well, I don't agree, but they're legally allowed to do that.
But
what I'm saying is they're legally allowed to do that.
No,
they're not legally allowed to stand in front of a judge in a courtroom and lie about jumping.
So how they gonna lie to get a confession and then not lie how they got the confession to a judge?
I don't know. We did 2 stories on that with some 2 officers in Yonkers that was falsifying search warrant.
Right, but then what happens? Right? Yeah. Exactly, and then what happens is down the road the truth comes out. Now the city got to pay millions of dollars because they got lying cops, and then they got lying DAs that cover up the lies of the lying cops, right? And then we gotta continue messed up justice system. But this DA had no reason to lie about that. So no reason at all.
So I have a lot of questions, and I'm inviting. I know that a judge can't come on here and talk about no case. I'm inviting this lawyer because this lawyer seems incompetent. What's his name? Larry Sykes. I'm inviting you to come contact us, blackwestchester@gmail.com, so I can talk to you and interview you. I'm inviting anybody from the district attorney's office to come explain this to me because it does not make any sense to me. I'm inviting any legal experts or lawyers who deal with court in Westchester to explain this shit to me, because first off, I'm on hiatus till January. So I'm breaking this right now because this is something that it don't make no sense. But we have to ask these questions. And I don't want to just throw out a whole bunch of just things that I don't know about or speak on things that I don't know about, but obviously something is wrong here and none of this makes sense. And I need someone to make some sense out of this for me. If the DA's office ain't did nothing wrong, they should have no problem having a representative or somebody contact us and come on here and explain this shit to us. Larry Sykes, you should have no problem as a lawyer coming on here explaining your incompetence, because you're the reason this man is in jail right now. You are a lawyer and you send someone who has a bench warrant to a court by themselves and then they get locked back up. I'm not understanding why you're even, like, if you didn't want to represent them no more, then say you don't want to represent them no more. But that seemed like some very bad legal advice. And you sound incompetent. I give you the opportunity to come on here and defend yourself, and please come on here and try to make some sense out of it. Because as of right now, I'm going to continue to call you incompetent until you come here and prove me wrong. Because there's something's wrong there.
So the ADA's name is Michael Ashcraft. I guess that's it.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I guess that. Hold on.
And I'm trying not to be funny because like you said, ass scratch. That's why. ASCRAFT. And I apologize to the individual. That's what it sounded like to me. I'm not trying to make fun of your name though,
but he lied.
Yeah, I would like you to come on.
At the end of the day, you lied about something that you shouldn't have lied about.
Well, you lied. There was no need to lie. So Yeah, there was no need to lie, and it has to be.
We talked to P.O. Melendez. He was not in White Plains for anything that had to do with bail. It was a probation issue.
I am officially inviting everybody who had anything or to do with this case or any knowledge of this case who would like to come on here and explain anything. We as open invitation, because you know we do stuff like this, and then y'all go public and say that we are not giving both sides of it, that we're not doing our due diligence, and we're not. None of this shit makes sense. So if we're off base, if what we're saying is not true, if anything we're saying is not factual, we are inviting you, everybody involved, to come on here and tell us what we got wrong and tell us why we're off base with all of this. If not, the whole damn system, everybody involved sounds incompetent, and I have a problem with everybody. But Larry Sykes, the lawyer. Wait, I want everybody who's listening to me who watches later. The lawyer's name is Larry Sykes. If your child gets arrested, if your child has a bench warrant, do not call Larry Sykes to represent him. That should be the first thing. Larry Sykes, you're welcome to come on here, but until you do, I'm telling everybody, do not call this man to represent your child in cases, because obviously you see how this went.
And I'm at the court. I'm going to be at the court date next time. Because this has to stop. If we're gonna be talking about reform, we have to be really about it. Judge Best, I'm ashamed of you to even think $100,000. Who gives $100,000 bail? So you just making them stay in jail because a little black boy can't afford $100,000 bail.
I think this is important. You told me about this just before we went on. So the reason I'm here, and I have to be real clear, and I want to be real clear in what I say here. All I'm seeing from law enforcement and all I'm hearing from the talking heads on TV is how this new bail reform is letting out all these hardened criminals that are continuing to do crimes and do all this other stuff. And y'all have nothing but complaints about this bail reform. But obviously, this proves that there was a need for some sort of bail reform. Now, I do believe the bail reform that we got, that package needs to be reformed. But there's obviously a need for bail reform. There should never be a situation where a young man like this, now, if the facts is right, he was in jail, he was in White Plains, he was released from White Plains. But while he was in White Plains Court, while he was in Valhalla, he missed his court date in Yonkers. He was released, he was free. And then Yonkers, did y'all know that he was in jail in Valhalla? And did y'all I'd like to see the date. Did y'all put the date did y'all try to put a date after he got out that he didn't show up? I mean, I like to see all of that too. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questionable things here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when we say, like Damon said, when we say criminal justice reform, most people think we're talking about just the police. Most law enforcement try to call us anti-police and say we're just talking about the police and we're anti-police and we're talking about reform the police and all that. Criminal justice reform, we're talking about the criminal justice system, from the judges to the district attorneys, the ADAs, what do you call them, people that represent you if you ain't got no money? What's the legal aid? Everybody involved in the criminal justice system. That whole process is what we're talking about when we say criminal justice reform. This case here, while I admit that I do not know all of the facts, but from what I'm hearing is a clear case of why this system needs to be reformed and why many of us are calling for criminal justice reform. I want to be clear again. A lot of people might not be watching this live, but this is going to go up and it's going to be shared and people are going to watch it next week, tomorrow, later on today. Anyone involved in this case is welcome to come on here. You can contact us at blackwestchester@gmail.com. Anybody that
Hold
says
on. We might have a call. We might have his mother calling. Hold on a second.
Okay, well, why are you doing that? Anybody who says that I have not stated all the facts and that I'm leaving out parts of the story or I don't know the whole story, you are welcome to come on here and tell the whole story. What you're not going to do, you're not going to sit there and keep doing that. Oh, they're not telling the whole story. Come on here. We're giving you the open door. Larry Sykes, I'm inviting you personally. Michael, the ADA, I'm inviting you personally. I know there's a limitation on what judges can do, but I'm inviting anybody from the district attorney's office and anybody in the legal profession who deals with this, who can speak and bring some clarity on what the rules and what the laws are and all of this, so we can bring some clarity here. Because if I'm confused and we do this to try to educate other people, I'm quite sure it's confusing to a lot of other people, including this young man and his mother. So since we got involved, we want answers. Answers that the family's not getting. And yeah, I do have to agree with Damon on the $100,000 bail. What the fuck? Real talk. So I'm not going to prolong this. I mean, it's been 41 minutes. I don't know if Damon has anything else to say. I put an open invitation to everybody.
The mother's trying to call in. I'm trying to get her to call
in. All right. Well, I put an open invitation out to everybody. I want this to be heard. I want to invite someone. I'm not going after the police. I'm not anti-police and anti-district attorney. I'm inviting everybody involved to contact us. But I am going to say this, and I'm going to say this again. Larry Sykes, that's the lawyer's name. A young man had a bench warrant for missing a court date while he was in jail. And he contacted a lawyer, Larry Sykes, and Larry Sykes told this young man, oh, yeah, just go down there.
According to the mother.
According to the mother. If that's not true, Larry Sykes, you need to come on here and explain and clarify the situation. If that is true, and I'm going to say this until Larry Sykes contacts me, I'm telling every parent that if you have a kid who got arrested or has a bench warrant and you want to know how to handle it, do not call Larry Sykes. I said it. And Larry Sykes, I'm going to keep saying that until you contact me and tell me what the hell. But right now, you get the gas face.
Keep talking. Let me see what his mother doing. Keep talking.
Yeah. Right now, you get the gas face because I'm like, yo, who does that? Like, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to know if I have a bench warrant, or I'm going to know if someone calls me Black Westchester and says they got a bench warrant for whatever the reason. My first thing, if it's some serious thing and there's a crime that, unless you're turning yourself in, and even that, you should have some kind of representation with you. But you should never be told by your lawyer who represents you that about a bench warrant that for a court date you missed while you were in jail, which is to me an ironclad alibi. The lawyer who told you, yeah, go down there and tell them you were locked up and let you go down by yourself and then you get locked up. Like, that doesn't sound like the most sound legal advice. Gina Best said, I came in midstream. To which case is this referring? So real quick, Gina, thank you for tuning in. A young man was in jail. He was arrested. Damien, if I'm missing any of this, I'm just trying to summarize. You let me know. He was arrested for driving under the influence for allegedly maybe smoking marijuana. No one saw him smoking the marijuana. They said maybe they smelled it or whatever. He went to jail. He's sitting in Valhalla. He had a case in White Plains, and he had a separate case.
Well, he got the charge. He wanted to take it to trial. He ended up in Valhalla for a different case in White Plains.
Okay.
And when he was supposed to go to court, he couldn't make it to court because he was locked up. And when he went down and when he found out he had a warrant, he did the right thing to go down there, but he to explain that he was locked up.
Well, you skipped one part. From the White Plains. White Plains, he was released and he was out free when he found out that he had a warrant. So whatever the White Plains case was, he was free, he was released. He was free, he was at home, and found out it came to his attention or somebody's attention. There was a bench warrant out for missing a court date in Yonkers. Right. He then calls his attorney, Larry Sykes. Hey, they say I have a court date. I missed a court date in Yonkers. I was physically in Valhalla at the time. What do I do? Larry Sykes, the attorney that you call, who handled the case, told this young man, oh, just go to the Yonkers court. The Yonkers, go down there and tell him you was locked up. Told him to go down by himself. Not the lawyer going down to find out what's going on, not the lawyer going with him to make sure his rights were protected, but a young black man just walked in court saying, I got a bench warrant. Click, click, click. He went back to jail. Like, what the hell? Like, how did you think that was going to go any other way? What is the purpose for having a lawyer? What's the purpose? I hope he wasn't somebody you were paying. What's the purpose of having somebody represent you? That ain't representing. So Larry Sykes, until I hear from you, I am telling anyone who asks me, and many people call us when they're looking for a lawyer, I am going to tell them not to use your ass, for sure.
This is crazy.
But you're welcome to come on here, blackwestchester@gmail.com. AJ Woodson, Black Westchester. If you can't remember the email address, I am the most findable person and Googleable person on social media. So you can get in touch with me. Thank you, brother. My brother, my innocent daughter, Empress, was stalked, ambushed, killed with flashbang grenades, then murdered by a lynch mob consisting of 16 Neanderthals working for the Virginia police SWAT team.
Jesus. We got to talk about that offline.
Yes, please contact us. Yeah, and Shanice, I agree. You cannot make this stuff up. Like, seriously. And I want to, as editor-in-chief of Black Westchester, the last 2 years we've been taking a hiatus from doing the show from the end of November to like sometime in January. I'm doing that, but when Damon approached me about this earlier, I felt that this was too important. Not to just come out and do this. You see, I ain't shaved, and dude, I had no intention of being on no cameras, but this is something that needs to be discussed and exposed. Yes, Gina, hit blackwestchester@gmail.com. See if you can send me anything on that, me and Damon, and we definitely need to talk about that offline because that sounds crazy.
I told myself I was going to stay away from my own health and mental clarity from having discussions, about shit like this. Hold on a second.
So let me tell you the other reason I'm here. I don't know if you watched the show much in the last year, but one person you ain't seen was Damon much because he's been busy and he's been not dealing with a lot of this stuff. And the fact that he wanted to come on here and do this, I felt that this was important. So yeah, this situation is evidence of the need for criminal justice reform. There's obvious need for criminal justice reform.
Hey, AJ.
Yes.
I got the mother right here. See if you can say something. Come on.
Hold on one second. I'm in the elevator. With Mr. Sykes. Well, I think, Mr. Sykes, at the end of the day, you didn't represent my son the proper way. And you said, But if you have a client and you're sending them mail and the mail is coming back,
I agree with you.
and you didn't put, but you need to go and stand up in front of the court and let them know. Let them know. Because how could my son know he had a court date when you didn't put the apartment number on?
I agree with you.
And you have my number in my application. You have my number. You didn't reach out to me. You didn't reach. No, but you're trying to brush me under the rug, and my child has been in jail. Mr. Sykes, at the end of the day, you're brushing me off. Like, this is my child. He has been in court for Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's what you need to go in front of that court and let that judge know. Tomorrow, you're going to tell her. You couldn't tell her today. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
All right. So Tawana, Tawana, we got you on the show. So just give us an update of what happened.
So we just was in court, 2:00, and we called the case. And at 2:00, they called the case.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have to produce my son. He's still in Valhalla. They dropped the bail from $100,000 because the ADA stood up in court and said that he had misinformation that he was given, and he produced to the court in the morning at 11:00 when we was here, and that whatever he said in the court at that time about the bail jumping incident in White Plains, which there was no bail jumping incident, he was there for a probation, and that he made a mistake, and that my son's bail now is $1,000 cash, and he has to be produced at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. I was in the elevator with Mr. Sykes just a few minutes ago, and I had some very nasty words to tell him because he's saying, "What do you want me to do?" Okay, it was my fault. What do you want me to do? What do you mean? What do you want me to do? My son stood in jail for Thanksgiving for something that he had no control over. You sent letters to my son's house, Mr. Sykes, and he lives in a building, and you did not put the apartment number on the letters that you sent, that you told me that you received back from the postal system. So if you're getting a letter, 1 letter, 2 letters, 3 letters back, don't you think something's wrong? Did you not fill out my son's application properly when you took his case as a legal aid or lawyer? You have my number in his file. You never called me. And he's going to shrug his shoulders just a few minutes ago and walk out and say, okay, it's my fault. What do you want me to do? I want you to fix it. That's what I want you to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a problem with this individual, this lawyer. I heard from his mouth on the phone, he agrees with you. He agrees
everybody heard because it was at the speaker. Right. Everybody's going to hear that he's a fuck up lawyer.
But my problem is this dude is agreeing with you. Again, the one who gave you bad information to say have your son go up there and didn't go up there with him. This same attorney is telling you, you're right. I agree with you about the mail not getting to him. I agree with you about everything that you're saying. This dude don't sound like he should be practicing law. I'm sorry.
No. Hey, AJ, do you have to contact the legal aid?
Who do I know? Oh man.
Don't worry, we'll get it.
No. But I was gonna tell you I interviewed somebody. Wait.
Hold on a second, AJ. Go ahead, Tawana.
Another thing, the ABA, right? He said that he made a mistake from earlier, okay? Because I guess they contacted White Plains and Judge Capici. Okay, Judge Capici that's the case that he has out in White Plains. She put his court date out for January 21st. Okay? This was a probation matter.
Right.
This was not a bail jumping
matter.
So when he brought that in front of the judge today at 11:00, of course, if he is in jail right now for bail jumping, and you're telling me as the ADA that there's another case of him bail jumping, what are you doing to the judge's mind? You're saying that my son is not coming to court and he's bail jumping in White Plains and he's bail jumping in Yonkers, so then she won't reduce the $100,000 cash bail, correct?
Right.
Because
But see, but here's my problem. He didn't get bad information. He lied.
Exactly.
He didn't get, and I'm telling you, whoever's from the DA's office, he's a liar. He didn't get no bad information because everything is computer. You can look up in the computer and see what's. Look. I've been in law enforcement 32 years. You're not gonna get bad information on why somebody's in court. That's bullshit. That ADA lied, and he needs to be reprimanded. He needs to be reprimanded because how many other young black boys did he get bad information about, and they were sitting up in Valhalla? The only difference is this young man's uncle is the publisher of Black Westchester, and it shouldn't be like that. So
the ADA admitted in court that he made a mistake because he had bad information. The ADA never then told the judge that he wasn't there because he was already he was incarcerated. Did he tell the judge that?
Listen,
there shouldn't be no bail at all?
Right.
He should be released. He should not be there.
Well, they're calling all he asked for is a reduce, because now Mr. Sykes is saying that there's a conflict of interest because my son is going to say that he didn't represent him properly and that he wants to be removed from this case.
No, he should. No, he should be removed, and a complaint needs to be made to legal aid. A complaint needs to be made, and trust me, we got the recording of him saying that it's your fault. Matter of fact, everybody that's watching live heard him say that it was his fault.
So we got Latasha.
So they could just come in.
Damon, I don't know if you let Mr. Winston know that May 19th, my son spent the night in Yonkers jail. Okay, went to see they said that he had a warrant. May 19th, May 20th, he was supposed to go before the judge, and the correction officers or the Yonkers Police Department, when he was upstairs about to go into the courtroom, let him out the back door and said to him, "My bad, you don't have a warrant," and threw him out the back door. And nobody's talking about that. And I called Mr. Sykes to let him know, and he said to me, "Oh, it was just an error." So my son stood in jail overnight for an error, and that's all you're gonna say is, "Oh, it was an error." Violated his civil rights. It was an error. They said, "Oh, my bad, our bad," and pushed him out the back door.
So
never went on May 20th to see any judge. He spent the night in bookings in Yonkers. Supposed to go see the judge on the 20th. The next morning, they woke my son up and brought him to Yonkers court and let him out the back door, like the door, threw him out the back door and said, "My bad. My bad." That's how y'all treat people?
Yes, yes. Answer that, Damon. Latanya, back. Is the charge a bailable offense?
Well, as a bailable offense. It was the original charge was driving while impaired, Latanya.
But supposedly under the influence of marijuana, but nobody saw him smoke any marijuana, and they never tested him or gave him a blood test or urinalysis or anything to prove that he was under the influence of marijuana, though. If I'm clear.
Right, and this is from 2019. This case is from 2019 we're dealing with.
Right, and then Latanya, and then going forward, Latanya, both district attorneys, the former district attorney Scarpino in 2020 said he was not prosecuting any low-level cases. I'm not a fan of his. And the current district attorney said that anything that was, she just dismissed over 184 charges in July, saying that and saying going forward she's not prosecuting any low-level marijuana charges, possession or sales or whatever. Driving under the influence, even though you never proved that he was under the influence, you just said he was, for marijuana is a low-level marijuana charge, and he should not have been in jail in the first place. Once he was released from White Plains, and he was home and found out that he had a bench warrant for missing a date in Yonkers while he was in Valhalla. See, this is my problem with the ADA. The ADA, if I'm clear, said he got bad information and he asked for a bail reduction. He should have asked for no damn bail.
It should have been right. It should have been
asked for no damn bail because he got what I call, and this might not be the legal term, he got an ironclad alibi for missing court. He was in jail. He was in county jail. There's records of that. There's no way, like, I can't just tell somebody, oh, I couldn't make it, I was in county jail. There's a record. He was in county jail. So there should be no bail here at all.
There shouldn't be no bail.
It shouldn't have been a bench warrant.
Exactly. It shouldn't have been no bail. He's trying to save face, but this is what they do, because they know they know these mothers want their children home, so they're going to take that bail. But even at the end of the day, he shouldn't even have given him bail. And for him to complete lie, not that he had bad information. I don't want to hear that bullshit, because we're supposed to be professionals in this law enforcement profession.
That's either his.
So when you make statements to a judge, you better be correct on your statements to a judge, because it affects people's lives, Mr. ADA. And you did not have bad information. You lied about it.
So listen. So LaTanya said three things. The driving while under the influence by marijuana should not result in bail. She said there should not have been no bail. Then she said the warrant should have been immediately vacated. That's the word I was looking for. That's what the ADA should have did in the Yonkers court.
Exactly.
So that's what, and your son should be with you right now or at home. You know what I'm saying? Right now, because that's what the incapable lawyer was supposed to ask for as his representative. That's what he should have asked for. The warrant should have been vacated. And the ADA, who admitted that he somewhat got misinformation, that's also not that's not good enough, because you should have this information. You should have the papers in front of you. Like Damon said, you can hit a couple of keys on the keyboard or on your phone now, and you can look this information up before you make a statement like that. And if you make a misstatement like that results in somebody spending some time in jail, you understand what I'm saying? You should rectify that situation. And so, yes, I agree. Thank you, LaTanya. The warrant should have been immediately vacated, and I want to know why that wasn't, and why the lawyer, Larry Sykes, did not ask for that as the lawyer. Again, I'm going to say this again. And Larry Sykes, please, I'm inviting you to contact me. If your son ever gets arrested or has a warrant, a bench warrant on them, and you need a lawyer, do not ever call Larry Sykes.
Mistakes happen. The problem is the only person suffering is the person in jail and his mommy. Absolutely right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so the judge, so the ADA can say, "Oh, my bad." Well, what you gonna do to fix it? It was your mistake. So they issued a bench warrant. Oh, my bad. So what you gonna do? So it should be vacated. So this young man should continue to be in jail because mistakes happen. Yes, mistakes happen. We're all human. We make mistakes. But when we make mistakes, we're supposed to correct those mistakes. And when we have positions of power, that our mistakes lead to people spending nights in jail.
Right. Exactly.
You have the power. Exactly. With power comes responsibility. Yo, there's a responsibility there. You either lied or are incompetent. That's the word. I'm not incapable, incompetent. Everybody involved. I have a problem with all of this. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let up until there is some restitution in the situation. This young man has spent time in jail and he shouldn't have been in there. Yo, before anybody comes at me, I'm not saying this kid is a saint. I'm not saying the kid ain't never did nothing before. But I'm talking about this situation right here. His due rights have been violated. I'm sorry. And there's no other way to look at that.
Yeah.
Tanya said, time served, send him home, no bail. That's what should have happened. That's what should happen. And after it happens, somebody should pay. I don't know if it should be a lawsuit or whatever. Somebody should pay. The ADA needs to be reprimanded, or his ass needs to be fired. He needs some, because I don't want this ADA. I'm sorry. I don't want this ADA. We no other kids.
Yes, that's true. I agree with you. If you get removed.
Yeah, I don't trust. I don't think
we got the mother. Tawana, you there?
Yes. I'm on my way to Valhalla to bail him out right now. Even though he has court tomorrow morning at 9:30, I can't see my son stay another night in jail.
Okay, good.
Off record, Tawana, good to meet you. I know you. We met. But
okay.
Offline, please give Damon Larry Sykes' phone number.
So
I'm going to call him myself. Since he might not contact me, I'm going to contact him, and I'm going to continue to call him out until everybody don't hire this dude. Don't ever hire this dude. Ever.
You heard him when I was in the elevator.
Yeah, I heard him for myself. He said, "You're right. I agree with you. You're right. That's not what you said."
What do you want me to do? Shove in his shoulder. What do you want me to do? My son contacted him last week Monday, and said to him, "Mr. Sykes, it seems like I have a warrant out of Yonkers, a bench warrant out of Yonkers. I'm going to go and turn myself in." He let my son go to court, go to Yonkers. Told him, "Go ahead, take care of it. It's okay. Go on and take care of it. It's going to be all right. Take care of that." They held my son Monday to Tuesday. Tuesday is when they told him that he had a bail jumping charge and that his bail was $100,000 cash, $200,000 bond. I called Mr. Sykes. Mr. Sykes said to me, "I don't know what happened. What are you talking about?" I told him to just go. I thought it was just a little minor thing. I didn't know they were going to hold your son. I can't do anything. It's the holidays. It's Thanksgiving's coming up. I said, "Wouldn't you want, if you had a child, wouldn't you want your child to be home for Thanksgiving? I want my child to be home for Thanksgiving." He said he can't do anything. Couldn't do anything. They had a Susan D'Ambrosia represent my child on the Tuesday. Okay, on the Tuesday. She knows nothing about this case. He didn't even show up on the Tuesday. He didn't show up. So somebody else stepped in for him. And this lady has no idea what is going on. First time meeting my son. My son is trying to explain to her the situation. And the judge says to him, $100,000 cash, $200,000 bond. My whole thing is, if my son is telling you that he was incarcerated from September 21st to October 14th in Westchester County, Valhalla Jail, why couldn't you, Judge Bess, I'm getting at you, why couldn't you ask your clerk, just verify verify this young man's information, please. Takes 10 minutes. The records are in the court. The records are there. It takes 10 minutes to see if he was in jail on the dates that he was supposed to come to Yonkers. She didn't do that. Son, $100,000 cash bail, $200,000 bond, and put him in jail until he was supposed to come today. I don't have $100,000 cash. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have it, and I don't know how a lot of people don't have it.
I don't have it. So yeah. So
okay.
A lawyer, who's a friend of the show, she said to tell you to ask for bail to be exonerated tomorrow because they can give her bail back immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he has to go in front of tomorrow 9:30, and Sykes is saying that he is removing himself from the case. So
is this individual black or white? Not that it matters, but is he black?
Who? Sykes?
Yes.
He's black.
Okay, then I have more of a problem. Like, you should know better. Yeah, okay.
He's black. He's a black, whatever he is. He ain't no attorney for my child. He's black.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's like no compassion. It's like, okay, I fucked up, and what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah,
okay.
I heard him say. He said, "I agree with you. I agree with you."
But he could have went to court on Wednesday and went to into the judge chambers and tried to speak to the judge and talk to the judge and let her know. He could have did that on the Wednesday. He could have did that on the Monday. He could have did that on Monday. He could have did that on Tuesday. He could have did that on Wednesday. He waited. He actually let my child for something that he know he did wrong. You send the mail to somebody's house, your client's house. You don't put the proper apartment number on it. The mail comes back to you 3 times, and that doesn't put a red flag in your. That doesn't say, okay, let me try to call another number that's listed. My number is listed on the application. My number is there. He just said he didn't call the number because he didn't give 2 shits about my black child. He didn't care. He didn't care.
Well, please give me this individual Larry Snipes number, give it to Damon, and I'm going to let everybody I know not to use this attorney. I'm gonna force him to talk to me too, because it's his incompetence, and I don't want he shouldn't be representing nobody else's kid, and that dude from the ADA, he should
Michael Ashcraft.
Yeah, he shouldn't have. I'm not gonna say it because every time I say it, it sounds like I'm saying ass scratch. So I'm not even gonna try to say his last name. But this dude, this ADA, he shouldn't still have a job, because how many more other people, like Damon said, if your son wasn't his nephew, this is something, and y'all didn't have us to have this conversation, how many other people have had this situation that don't have nobody to call to and get online and talk loud and make some noise about it? How many times is this happening? I mean, I think we need to have a review of cases in that office just to make sure that there's not another 10 cases that are sitting there that are situations that happen like this. There need to be a forensic audit or whatever you call it when you go through all of that stuff to make sure that this never happens again. And I'm definitely going to have that conversation with the DA's office because this is inexcusable. Inexcusable. I want to thank you for coming on here, though.
Thank you. Thank you, Damon. Thank you, AJ.
A lot of people say, they call us and they were like, "Oh, you got to do something," and they don't want to come on camera and they won't give me all the details. I thank you for reaching out. No
problem with it.
I thank you for. I am sorry that you had to go through this. Going through this any time of the year is bad, but going through this at the holidays, man, that's just even more egregious. That your son spent Thanksgiving in there and he shouldn't have been in there, and it was because of incompetence of an ADA, incompetence of a black lawyer who don't care about black people
and a black judge.
And a black judge.
And a black judge. Like, yo, you know how many people I'm talking to in other cities and around the country, they want more black judges, they want more black lawyers, they want more blacks in ADA department. They want the stuff we got, and we still can't get it right. Yeah, I got a problem with all that. So, please, I know you will, and I know Damien's gonna follow up. Please let us know anything else. Any updates?
Thank you so much.
And again, I'm sorry that you had to go through this, and
you
need to. So you hear from me. I stand with you on this whole thing, and we're gonna rock this out to the end.
Okay, thank you so much, AJ. All right, I'm on my way to county, Damon. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yo, I had to switch to my phone because my little laptop got too hot.
Damn.
Yes, sir, bro.
I don't know that. Don't want it to say sorry because you know what? A lot of times we don't know what's going on. So I'm glad this thing happened. That's a lot of persons don't have to go through what DJ go through. Okay?
Exactly.
Yes. So don't say sorry. We want everybody to know what's going on. If it never happened to him, it would happen to a lot of other kids. And you don't know what happened.
Okay.
That's right. And it is going through a lot of kids. You know, it's just the difference is, you know, his uncle owned a goddamn newspaper. See, that's the difference. That's the difference.
That's so sad, man.
See, you know, that's the difference because I could guarantee you there's a lot of little black boys and black girls up in Valhalla that went through the same thing DJ is going through right now, but they family, they uncle don't own no newspaper.
Yeah, they don't know nobody. So
that's the
difference.
difference.
And mama's mouth is not big as mine.
Exactly, and they have to reevaluate what's going on in these ADA's offices.
Yeah.
And one of the things, a lot of people said that Mimi has to clean house. Because some of them don't have our interest.
Damon knows today in a court. No, I want to talk it live. No, tell me for sure. If you make Damon know that the district attorney knows they mess up and tell Sykes, say, you see what's going on after we spoke about this, do you know what? Talking a court and call DJ and he said Dean Anderson. But when him turn on and see somebody listen and cut the conversation. So you have to expose them. Not sure nothing, make the world know, make the public know what's going on. We are taxpayers. You have pay a tax for somebody who can represent you good or doing the right thing or do the job the right and proper way. Then for expose.
Exactly. So wait. So this is important.
Exactly.
Latanya Baptiste. Wait. Latanya Baptiste said to tell the mother to correct the matter, to correct the record. It matters. So once you get this taken care of, you want them to correct the record.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it will still be there and say that this stuff happened. That you want them to correct the record. She said that matters, and you want that. So please, listen. I'm personally asking for an audit, internal audit of the 80s the DA's office, because I have no confidence that this is a one-time situation and that there's not other individuals who have gone through this. And again, just because they didn't have somebody who could speak for them and advocate for them, and they just and in this situation, they just took a plea so they could go home. And now they got a record now. You know what I'm saying? Which was the whole point of the bail reform and the whole point of crying out for criminal justice reform. It's not just the cops going upside our head and killing our young men. That's only part of the justice. We need a complete criminal justice reform. And this should be an example. And while we're talking about incident in Lower Westchester, everybody that listens to me outside of Westchester, outside of New York State, you should be concerned about this where you live too. Because if it can happen in this one situation and other people saying, well, that's not my child, it can be your child. It can be your child next.
Tell him so.
No bail exoneration. Wait, says that the system has to put bail on him, and that was to guarantee that he would return to court or was a flight risk. That's what she said. Well, we're gonna keep bringing this up. You please keep us updated, and I'm gonna follow through on this. I'm gonna follow through on this. I'm
Again,
on,
thank you guys for bringing this to up front and letting everybody know what's going on. Like, if I didn't contact Damon, like I said, Damon, as soon as it happened, I called him for advice all the time. So he, led me in the right direction, and he, put a battery pack in my back, and I went ahead and I did what I had to do. And
you put a battery in my back too. Get close. You put a battery behind my back. Every time he got off the phone with you, he called me. So yeah.
So I'll definitely update you guys at tomorrow. Definitely update Damon, let him know tomorrow, and I'll let Dean call you as soon as he comes out tonight.
Okay.
You and the gentleman on the phone. Sorry, I didn't get to know his name or get to meet him. AJ, Mr. AJ, and thank you very much for your time, your patience, and for reaching out to other moms and family and other black kids. Thank you very much again. Okay, sir?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Any last words, Damon, or we out?
If we're gonna be about reform, we gotta be about reform, right? It shouldn't have to take us to this measure to make the courts go in the direction that it's supposed to go into when dealing with issues like this. It shouldn't have to, right? It just should be. We're supposed to be dealing with justice, right? And justice is dealing with people fairly and honorably and with integrity. And when you have and then when you have a ADA that lies, there's no bad information. He lied. And he needs some talking to. He needs some talking to. Someone in that office up there needs to talk to him. Because how many young black men, black boys have he lied on? And we're gonna watch this case through the beginning because they have no case.
I want to know what Latanya, maybe you can answer this. If an ADA goes in front of a judge and outright lies, he had a situation of probation, and they were talking about in the next case they were talking about his bail, and the ADA said he was in there for jumping bail in the White Plains case, what led to the Yonkers judge issuing $100,000 bail. What should be the penalty there? Like, an ADA should not be able to just lie to a judge about. A judge should check some of that stuff out too. But ADA shouldn't be like. There's a problem I'm having that the ADA can. She said we should call the ADA now. I don't have the number, and I know damn well he ain't gonna answer no phones. You heard me, Damon?
She said what?
She said we should call the ADA now.
We're gonna make a phone call.
Well, I'm gonna be Latanya. I'm gonna be on the phone with the DA's office. And definitely, I'm also going to make sure that our elected officials who create legislation, state legislation too, see this situation. This is one example of the injustice, the criminal injustice system that we have in place right now. This is one. They say it's 8 million stories in the naked city. This is just one. So we have to prove intentional lie versus mistake, because he said it was a mistake. But I mean, but even then, Latanya, if you make a mistake, he has a position. His mistake led to a young man spending unnecessary time incarcerated over the holidays and not being with his mother. That's a hell of a mistake. I'm sorry, it's just not good enough for me. Like, let's just say it was a mistake. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, it's not good enough for me. It wouldn't be good enough for me if it was my child. I'm sorry. Oh, I made a mistake. There's got to be something, and I'm going to keep asking until I find out what it is. There's got to be something, and I agree with Damon, at the very least, a reprimand should take place. A reprimand should take place. Something on his permanent record or something, you know. But, yeah, Mimi Roca, my message to Mimi Roca is, yeah, a lot of people did say you need to clean house. I don't know if this individual is a leftover from the old administration. If he is, you might want to get rid of him. But there's some other people that I've heard say you need to clean house as well. And I implore Mimi to do some type of an internal audit of all cases like this to see if there's been any other cases. Maybe something that may not be able to do anything about it, but so you know for your own office, the integrity of your office, that there's no other cases like this. That's my conversation that I'm going to have. So, but yes, I agree. Latanya, he should be immediately released. The bench warrant, the warrant should be vacated, and all of that, and all of that. Any last words, David? I'm out. I'm fired up. I'm about to make some phone calls or something.
No.
I don't know if there's much more I can say here right now.
I just hope that there's conversations in the DA's office on how they can make things better.
Absolutely.
They had to make things better. And a lot of these ADA's cases need to be reevaluated.
Reviewed, yep.
Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We supposed to be moving forward. But this whole thing just remind me of the old justice system. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. And to say you was given bad information, who gave you? How did you get bad information? You couldn't have got it from White Plains Court because he wasn't there on bail jumping. So where did the bad information come from? You lied.
That's what happens with these that whole system of, what do you call them again? Public defenders? They're just cases. They're not people to them. They got a bunch of
I'm
folks.
talking about the ADA.
Oh, okay.
I ain't even talking about, public defenders. There's good ones.
Yeah.
And there's bad ones. We know good ones, and now we know of a real bad one. And unfortunately, if you go back to whatever time, exactly, that's the question the ADA must answer. Or someone from the ADA's office, the attorney from the district attorney's office, is going to have to answer that. Why would you lie like that? Because there's no way you could got bad information. So you didn't get good information when the young man said he was in jail when he was supposed to go to court.
That phone call happened at 2:27. That was basically close to an hour in. That was about 30-something minutes ago. So go somewhere after like 55. Like skip up to the 55-minute for those watching this later. Somewhere go back to the 55-minute mark, and you should be able to hear when she got on the phone and she was talking to the attorney, and the attorney telling her that he agrees with her, that she's right. But what do you want him to do?
Exactly.
She agrees that, he sent out the letter and the letter came back to him that he had the wrong address. He agrees that all the things that the mother was saying is true. And then he said, what do you want me to do? I want you to make it right and get my kid out of jail. Ain't that that's what it's supposed to be. Like, so again, I'm gonna end with this right now. I invite this individual. I will give him a platform. I will put him on camera. We can have a conversation. But I want to say to everybody who can hear me, if you have a situation and you need a lawyer because your child was arrested or has a bench warrant or anything of that nature, do not contact attorney Larry Sykes. He is incompetent. His actions led this individual to be in jail unnecessarily over the holidays. He gave him bad information. You, and I just want to be specific for those who just tuned in. We had an individual who was locked up on a separate charge who had a court date in Yonkers. He missed his court date in Yonkers because he was in Valhalla. The other charge he was served, he was released from that. He was home. It came to his attention that he had a bench warrant. He called his attorney that represented him, Larry Sykes. I believe there's a bench warrant on me for the Yonkers thing. I was in jail. That's what I call an ironclad alibi, right? I'm sure there's a more technical word for that. The attorney, Larry Sykes, told him, oh, just go to the court and let them know. What? Go to the court and let them know? What attorney sends? The attorney himself should have looked into it, or the attorney should have accompanied him. But attorney told him to go to the court where he has a bench warrant and let them know that he wasn't there because he was locked up. He got there, yeah, you have a bench warrant on me, such and such, click, 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 and he was in jail. Like, they wasn't trying to hear nothing after that. And he had no attorney present. What attorney worth anything tells to somebody that? For that alone, I'm telling everybody, do not use this attorney. Nobody should be dealing with this attorney, ever. Ever, ever, ever. If he's your legal aid, request a new attorney, please. Remember the name, Larry Sykes. And Larry, you're welcome to come on here, blackwestchester@gmail.com. My name is AJ Woodson. I'm one of the most findable, Googleable people online. You can find me. If you have anything to say, contact me. Shanice, what is that number? Is that his number? Please answer that question. That's his number. You know what? I'm feeling mischievous right now. This is the number to the attorney, Larry Sykes. Everybody call him and find out what the hell are you doing. Blow this dude's phone up. Larry Sykes. If your child's in trouble, don't call him. Got a bench warrant? Don't call him. His name is Larry Sykes. I'm out. With that, I'm out. I don't know if Damon got any last words. I'm out. That's the number. Larry Sykes. Larry, call me. Let's talk, bro, because you ain't no good. This is a special edition of Black Westchester Power Hour. It'll be up later. You can see it. If you missed it, go back and watch it. We will be following up on this whole situation. Until next time, peace.